Hi, my name is Belle Hansen, and on March 20th, 2020, I attempted to end my life. I was at risk for suicide because of my circumstances. For example, I was 17 when I attempted, and it was a stressful time for the whole world. We all know in March 2020, that's kind of when coronavirus took over the world, and everyone was really stressed about the pandemic. It was just a scary time for a lot of people. Women are more likely to attempt suicide. I also have psychiatric disorders, including depression and anxiety. I also have had past trauma, like my parents' divorce, and I also have a family history of suicide. It runs on my mom's side of the family. And as a child and teen, I had neglect from my mother. So these all went together and puts me personally more at risk for suicide. At this time, I also didn't have very much social support. I had two friends, and they weren't very good for me. They encouraged me to engage in risky behavior, and that makes someone more at risk for suicide. Because I had psychiatric disorders, I also had antidepressants, and access to the lethal means makes someone more at risk. So my story is on March 20th, 2020, I attempted to take my life. I took two full pill bottles of my antidepressants. Afterwards, I tried to go to sleep, but I wasn't able to. My mind would not stop racing, and my stomach hurt so bad. I threw up a couple times just like on the floor in my bedroom. Anyways, about I want to say 15-20 minutes of just laying in my bed in pain, I decided I would call two of my friends. These two friends that encouraged me to engage in risky behavior. I called them, and I called them because I wanted them to help me, I guess. I don't know. It was a very irrational time. Like, my thinking wasn't clear. I called them instead of telling my dad what I had done because I didn't think they would care, but they forced me to tell my dad. Afterwards, I went to Primary Children's Hospital where I was in the ICU for 2 days, and then the regular just in the hospital for 2 days. I went to a psych ward after for a little bit over a week, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I still have suicidal thoughts. I still engage in risky behaviors here and there. I still struggle with mental health, but I have learned a lot from this suicide attempt, and the main thing that I have learned is that mental health is just as important as physical health, and we need to advocate for it, and health insurance companies need to cover mental health expenses just like they do physical health expenses.
In conclusion, many factors go into suicide. In most cases, there is more than one reason someone feels this is the answer. Even if someone is at risk for suicide, there are things they can do to cope. Talking to a therapist can help them learn new coping skills and help them by letting things off their chest. Suicide is an increasing problem in the United States, and society needs to remove the stigma around mental health problems. This would make it easier for individuals to reach out and get help, also by making therapists and medications